Okay, what are you saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. Now, before we get into this, make sure you follow me on my Telegram channel. I left a link to that in the live chat and also the description below. So you post a lot of different trading setups there throughout the week, and you don't be missing out on that. So make sure you check that out. But like I said, got another live stream and talk you through what's happening in the chart so far this morning, and also any trades I'm in as well. So first, we can start with AUD/USD. You can see for this one, we're still looking bullish here. You can see on the 4-hourly time frame. I kind of just started off the day just nice momentum to the upside, as you can see in the hourly as well. Not too much going on there. As you can see, we're still bullish there on the daily chart. We broke through recent highs last week before the market shut for New Year's. As you can see on the daily chart, previous high here, we had the close above there, and we had price action pulling, where the candle pulling back there. So that was showing some signs that price could potentially see a move back into some area of previous resistance turned daily support. But as you can see, we had that push to the upside, price pulled back, but then we just started the day with momentum to the upside. So AUD/USD is still looking bullish as of yet on the Friday time frame, daily, hourly as well, all looking bullish here. There's no real price action for us to look for any trades here. So again, as long as that bullish momentum continues and that bullish price action continues, price could easily still make new highs with this pair. So still looking bullish here, not much to report on there. Price looks like it's still creating some new highs. Euro/USD, similar thing. So it looks like we've got USD weakness across the charts this morning. You can see Euro/USD kind of gapped up from that momentum we saw to the downside towards the end of last week. As you can see, we had that bearish engulfing candle. We're expecting to see if the momentum will carry us to the downside, but you can see we kind of just gapped up, and the price had the momentum there and just continued to the upside. So again, still looking bullish for Euro/USD. Again, still holding the previous daily structure here, or previous resistance and support. As you can see, resistance, daily 10 support. Haven't had quite of a test of it, but price is still looking bullish there. Still holding our 14-day moving average as well. So price is still looking bullish there on the 4-hourly, daily, and hourly as well. So again, still creating those higher highs. Looks like price is going to come back and test the previous highs on the 4-hourly chart there. As you can see, that's where we found resistance, and we saw the push to the downside. Look like that's where price is going to head to. Maybe you might see a break of that and price continue higher. We'll obviously have to judge price action when we get there, but currently is still looking bullish, and I probably do expect price to continue higher. Nzd Cad, same thing, but on the flip side, you can see we are looking bearish here still, and it looks like we've actually taken out this recent low. And as you can see on the daily chart, this low here gave us a really nice push to the upside, really nice bullish momentum there, and you can see we just slowly just roll over to the downside, just resuming that bearish trend on the daily, weekly, and looks like monthly as well. We could be starting a new trend to the downside. So we are looking very bearish here for Nzd Cad. Again, probably expecting price to continue unless we start to see towards the end of the day price just pull back up and maybe close above and just have a bit of a false breakout the low time frames. That's still a possibility, and we can just see that this stage just ends with a long wick to the downside. But if that momentum does continue, there's nothing saying that we can't see this continue a lot further. You can see a very strong close on the 4-hourly chart. So unless we start to see either the next 4-hourly candle or the one after that just close bullish and just completely engulf the previous bearish candle, we are looking quite bearish. And since we are creating some new highs, potentially price could see a longer movement to the downside, because all of this prior daily support will be turned resistance here. So as long as price respects that as a resistance, potentially see another push to the downside, maybe another strong move similar to this one, but to the opposite direction. USD/JPY, again, still looking very bearish here. You can see we broke out the trend line a while ago now, and we saw that push to the downside. I was saying that price could potentially hold this area. As you can see on the 4-hourly, we saw some bullish candles coming back in the market here, so potentially could see a push to the upside again. But as you can see, we kind of just gapped down to this level here. We had a push up, and then price just completely fell down, broke through this level here, and we are looking very bearish, creating some new lows in the market. You can see we are in this choppy downtrend. Price is making those new lows and those lower highs. So again, we are looking bearish. There's a chance that again this daily candle just pulls back up towards the end of the day and just be a big fake out. That's still a possibility, happens all the time, but we are looking very bearish on the 4-hourly chart, hourly as well, probably as well. So there's no real setup for here to trade. Again, still looking very bearish on the daily as well, and as long as price maintains that price action, probably expect price to continue a lot further. There's a wick on the weekly, which I think potentially price could let's go and fill As you can see, we had this wick all the way down there with the volatility earlier in the year, and you can see we wicked all the way down to these lows, and I think price probably is taking its time, but could eventually be making its way back to those lows for USD eventually. Again, we're still kind of respecting this trend line here, and I think as long as price respects that, I think that is where the market wants to go from a weekly point of view, so a long-term point of view. But I think this bearish trend could continue a lot further to the lows down there, and as you can see on the daily chart, we are looking bearish. Obviously going to be expecting, you know, pullback swings to the upside. You can see the nature of this trend is quite choppy. It's not like a clean drop. So again, probably going to be expecting longer move to the downside for USD in the next few months or so. But again, right now looking bearish, no real opportunities for us on USD. And morning to you, happy new year. Hope everyone enjoyed their new year. USDCHF still looking bearish here as well. As you can see, again, US dollar weakness pushing us to the downside. We had our prior low there. We kind of closed below it last week. Then we saw that big bullish candle coming in just before the market closed, taking us back above. So it's looking like we had a false breakup there. But then you can see currently we are looking bearish again, and now we're back below that same area. So it's looking like price is going to fall back to the downside again, unless we have a similar candle like this, you know, in the next few hours before the daily candle close. It's looking like we'll probably have another push to the downside again for USDCHF. You can see price was kind of consolidating between that resistance and that support there on the daily time frame. Looks like that was a little bit of a mini pullback, and price is looking like it's continuing to the downside there. So probably going to be expecting price to continue to the downside as long as we hold that bearish momentum there, unless we start to see some strong impulsive bullish candles coming back into the market like we had just before last week closed. But currently no real opportunities for us there, still looking bearish, and potentially could see that continue a lot further. Next we're going to take a look at Eurogbp. Eurogbp, we saw some bullishness come into the market here. As you can see, previous support gave us that move to the upside, now acting as support there again. So I did say for UGP, I do expect price to potentially head to the downside further this week. But again, we can be expecting some retracing this market. You can see how the market's moving is very up, down. So again, probably going to be seeing another push to the upside a little bit more, because we need to retrace this bearish move that we had last week. So could potentially see a move into this level here. This is all previous daily support turned daily resistance. If I jump to the daily time frame, as you can see, this is the support here which we broke through last week at that strong bearish close there on Thursday, and now we're retesting this area as resistance. So all this area as resistance, but potentially if you see price hold, could get another swing to the downside for UGP and create those lower lows. I do expect price to eventually get to the lows down here. As you can see, a really key level on the daily time frame as well. So if I highlight this area, previous support all across here and resistance there as well. So really key level, and I do think that's the next target for Eurogbp. Again, if you do get back above this, it will return support again, so potentially could see a longer swing back to the upside, maybe back to the recent high here where we had that push to the downside from. But for me, as long as this area holds, I do think price could roll over for Eurogbp and create some lower lows to the downside there. Next, we're going to take a look at Eurogbp. Now Eurogbp kind of still stuck in the range. We thought we saw a break out last week out of this range. As you can see, that was kind of our resistance there, and this was kind of our support, and we kind of broke out. It looked like price was retesting, but again, we wasn't really seeing the momentum you want to see in a breakout. Normally when a break, you want to see a lot of momentum in towards one direction. So here you can see a lot of momentum to the upside here. That's the type of price action when you see a proper breakout. When it's quite choppy like that, a lot of wicks to the upside and to the downside as well, it does show a lot of indecision, and maybe we're having a false breakout, and it looks like prices just fall back into the range. So Eurogbp, not too sure. We could see a break to the downside now that we've had like two false breakouts towards the upside. So maybe price wants to break to the downside now, but again, no real trade for us there. Kind of still stuck right in the middle of the range, not either at the highs or the lows of that range. So no real opportunity there on Eurogbp, and you can see on the daily as well, but we're right back at the high. So if price was to break to the upside, obviously a new high and price continuing this bullish trend. But again, we're kind of just moving sideways. So potentially, if you see a break to the downside, could see some nice momentum, maybe showing signs of a double top, maybe in the reversal possibly. And if you do break to the downside, I do think 125 as our next level, which is a level around here. As you can see, resistance all across here on the daily time frame, which will be turn support. So I do think if we break to the downside, that is the next daily target, and if we break through that, potentially go a lot further to the downside and probably see more of a reversal there, and probably expect more of a bearish trend there. But as of yet, for Eurogbp, still moving sideways. Potentially can see a break to the downside just because we have two false breakouts now to the upside. So again, you normally expect the break to the downside now, but again, we'll kind of just move sideways there. So no real opportunity for us on EuroJPY. Next, I'll take a look at CAD-JPY. Now, CAD-JPY, we saw price gap up and now kind of just moving sideways here. A little bit of indecision. On the daily chart's quite clear. We just got this range going through the market. Clear level of resistance above us, clear level of support below us there. We kind of tested the area of resistance recently, and we saw a really nice push to the downside. So it's looking like this bullish movement to the upside on the daily chart is just a retrace. Again, you can see we got previous daily support when we're kind of just consolidating out that resistance a little bit. That was the previous support, now term resistance. You can see if I jump to the 4-hourly, kind of wicked almost to the pit really at that same level. So again, all this area here will be term resistance. Again, you can see we had a wick previously here on the 4-hourly as well. So there's some resistance in this market, and we could see potentially a fall to the downside from this area now. Previous daily support now turned daily resistance. So we're at a very strong area of resistance now because we were trading at the daily time frame. So potentially could see price roll over to the downside for CAD-JPY, back to the lows again at least, but probably do expect a new low, since again you can see we're kind of just in this range. Since we had a strong push to the downside on the daily chart, probably expect that pullback to continue us to the downside and potentially move all the way down to the lows here for CAD-JPY and just continue on that range. But again, if price wants to probably climb up higher, I'm probably favouring more breakout to the upside at that point, because the price action kind of has changed there. So if we do hold this area, move to the downside, but again, the price action is not quite there for us yet. So we'll be looking at CAD-JPY probably throughout the day and throughout the week to see if we can get some nice price action around this area, to see if we can carry that move to the downside. But as of yet, no real opportunity there. Let's go and take a look at EUR/AUD. Now, EUR/AUD, we saw a big push to the downside, and it looks like I had actually a breakout of this range here. So EUR/AUD has been moving in this range in the daily chart for quite some time, since May 2020, and we thought we saw a breakout of this range early on around October. As you can see, you have that big impulsive move to the upside. Price retested it, but then just fell back through that area. So again, price was still stuck in that range, and you can see we had a break to the downside now. So EUR/AUD is looking very bearish, and potentially could see that price continue a lot further to the downside, because obviously this area of previous daily support is obviously going to be turned daily resistance now. So potentially could see price climb up a little bit higher on the 4-hourly time frame to go and retest this area as resistance now, and that could give us the momentum needed to really see a breakout to the downside. And also similar to EuroJPY as well, we had the breakout to the upside and price fell back in, then we saw a break to the downside. So that could be happening now for EuroJPY, which has happened for EUR/AUD here, a break to the downside. So potentially that could be the case there. But as you can see, here for EUR/AUD, we did see a nice breakout to the downside, looking very bearish here, and probably expecting price to continue to the downside if we do continue that momentum. And you can see we had that big push to the downside previously here, big push downside. Price was consolidating there, looks like it was just correcting, and then we could see it continue to the downside. We are testing that 200 moving average on the weekly though, so that is a significant point. So again, probably going to expect to see a reaction of that, and again, at least expecting a push to the upside potentially to go and test that previous area of daily support turn daily resistance. Then either if you get a close back above, it would just be one big false breakout, but if you do see price resume to the downside from there, could expect price to continue to the downside for EUR/AUD. Next, take a look at Gpnzd. Now, Gpnzd again still just consolidating, really not too much to report for this pair. Again, like I'm saying on the weekly and last videos, again, previous area of daily support all across here, support there, support there again, now all-time resistance. You can see we had numerous wicks into this area. You did see a very strong bearish candle come from that area as well. So it does have a lot of strength behind it, that level, and if you do get above it, we could be seeing a longer push to the upside potentially. Again, like I'm saying, we do have this trend line going through the market here, connect the highs, so potentially a move to there, at least if you do see a breakout of this level. But right now you can see the price action on the daily, the price action on the 4 hourly, just moving sideways, really nothing too much going on Gpnzd, so it just depends really which way we could break out to. Again, the resistance up here is stronger than the support that we do have here, so potentially could see a breakout to the downside. But again, price is kind of just stuck in the middle, so no real trading opportunity, and don't really want to guess out which way price is going to go. But so far, kind of price just moving sideways, and if you do see a breakout support, that could be just be a continuation of the trend that we have. As you can see, Gpnzd is currently in a bearish trend there, so if you do break to the downside, that just could be another swing to the downside, and potentially could see some new lows for Gpnzd if we do get that happening. Next is to take a look at Nzd USD. Now Nzd USD again still looking bullish here. As you can see, price still creating those higher highs in the market. We didn't quite get a test of this area, I don't believe. As you can see, yeah, we didn't get a test of this area. Previous daily, if I jump to the daily chart, so you can see previous daily resistance will be turned support. That was a previous swing high of the daily chart. We didn't really quite get a test of that area on the 4 hourly chart. You see, you missed it by a few pips there, but price is still looking bullish again for Nzd USD. It looks like price might get back to the highs there potentially, or maybe even create some new highs depending on the type of price action we get when we do get to that area. But price is looking bullish, and potentially could see price continue on further. And since we haven't had actually a retest of this area, price might roll over again and see a test of this area as support, potentially maybe. And if you do see price break through it again, we can expect a longer swing to the downside. Do have a little bit of a trend line going through the market here. Again, test there, second, third, so could see some pullback into that area where we have the previous daily support and also the trend line as well. But again, still looking bullish, and as long as we hold that price action, that bullish price action, price can go a lot further. And now if we take a look at Nzd Cad. Now Nzd Cad, again, we saw price kind of gap down quite a lot with this one. We do have previous daily resistance now turned support. I think price is just sitting on here, as you can see here, they gap down, and you can see the candle on the daily chart is kind of just sitting on that support. You can see the 4 hourly is there as well. So again, it depends if price wants to hold this level. If we do see price hold this level, could see another swing back to the highs again for Nzd Cad, and potentially further if it wants to hold that. Again, all this area is daily support, so it does have some strength behind it, some validity as well. So potentially could see another swing to the upside, sorry. But again, if you do see price break through that, probably see a longer move back to the downside here. Again, potentially back to the lows here. And as you can see here, very strong daily support as well, which gave us this move to the upside. And at that point, we'll probably see price just ranging at that point. But again, we are still looking bullish for Nzd Cad. We're testing some previous areas of daily support, so it could be seeing another swing to the upside. And next, if we take a look at Gbp Usd. Now for Gbp Usd, we saw a push to the upside for this one over the course of last week, as you can see on the 4 hourly chart, just slowly steadying, moving to the upside, breaking through some previous swing highs in the market. As you can see, resistance there, prices broke through that, and now all this area will be turned support. So price is looking very bullish on Gbp Usd on the 4 hourly chart. Daily as well, still looking bullish. We still got this trend line here in the market. If I connect that properly, as you can see, acting as support all across here. Initial test there, second, third, fourth. Didn't quite get that test there with those wicks, but again, still in that bullish trend and still looking bullish. You could see some deeper retracement for Gbp Usd soon potentially, but again, you do have all of this area of previous daily resistance now turned support. That as long as price holds there, you can see on the 4 hourly chart, we are still looking bullish. If price holds that, again, can see easy price continue to the upside. And again, we also have to factor in the higher time frames of the weekly and the monthly as well, because we are looking bullish on these higher time frames, which could be a sign that we could be seeing a longer push to the upside here. As you can see for Gbp Usd, the previous month, last month, December, did close above some strong levels of resistance. So as you can see here, this was a strong level of resistance for Gbp Usd for about a couple of years. So again, really strong area of resistance, and now we've actually managed to break through it. with December, with the close of December. So we are looking bullish, and if this is a breakout, because price was essentially ranging for GPUSD, as you can see, you got the support there, resistance above there, price was essentially ranging. So if you do see a breakout to the upside for GPUSD on the monthly time frame, it could be a sign that we could be seeing a longer bullish trend to the upside now, and probably back the resistance that we have up here for GPUSD. So again, we could see potentially 2 or 3 months of consecutive bullish candles to the upside, maybe to go and retest that area of resistance now. Of course, there's a possibility you have a false breakout and price just closes back below, and then in that case we're still back in the range. But we are looking very bullish here, and if you do see a proper breakout, could see a longer push to the upside. However, again, this is all previous resistance will be turned support, and naturally you do expect price to retest areas before you see price continue to the upside. So again, we could see that retracement happen for GPUSD back into that monthly area of support. So again, could be expecting longer swings to the downside, potentially around to that area around 1.33. So could see that swing happen to the downside before we have that breakout happen. But again, if price really wants to move to the upside, again, it does have the monthly time frame behind it, and we could see a longer push to the upside, a longer bullish trend for GPUSD. And as of short term, again, you can see we just had a nice rally to the upside. No real opportunities for us to get into any trades here for GPUSD, but we'll keep an eye on it. But currently it is still looking bullish here. Currently only in one trade right now, in Nzd Cad short trade, looking for a swing to the downside. You can see on the daily chart here, we are at previous highs here, so looking to capitalize on another push to the downside. As you can see, last time we were here, we did see a lot of momentum give us that swing to the downside all the way to the lows here. So looking to see if we can get another swing to the downside, at least to this area here. Previous resistance there will be turning support there as well, and if you do break through that area, that will probably be my next target for Nzd Cad, to see if you can get a nice swing to the downside, even from a daily point of view. But we're right back at the highs, and last time we saw price get a test this area, we did see a lot of momentum give us that swing to the downside. So looking to see if we can get that momentum happen again for Nzd Cad and see a nice swing to the downside on the 4-hourly time frame, and hopefully that will carry on through to the daily. So again, looking for a swing to the downside, stop loss just above the previous area of resistance. I'm just going to see how this trade works out during the live stream. If anyone wants me to look at any different charts, any different pairs, just put it on the live chat and I'll make sure I'll give you some analysis on that pair or give you my opinions. But yeah, just going to be seeing how these pairs get on today, and just looking at my trade and see how that gets on as well. Okay, so we're going to take a quick look at Gbp Cad. So we're going to see what's happening with that pair. So again, Gbp Cad on hourly, we are looking very bearish there. We've currently just broke some recent support there. Again, you can see this for kind of our last swing low of this push to the upside. So we are looking bearish here on Gbp Cad on the hourly time frame. You can see we tried to make some new highs there, failed to do that. Price gave us that big bearish candle closing 10 a.m. I believe. So we are looking very bearish there. All this area is now going to be turn resistance, and we could be seeing some retest of that area. So probably going to be expecting another move to the downside for this pair on the 4-hourly time frame. Again, kind of looked like we failed to create a new high there in the market. As you can see, this is our previous high here on the 4-hourly time frame, pushed the upside, failed to make a new high there, and looks like we're making new lows. So potentially you can see another swing to the downside back to this level here potentially. Again, do have to be aware we do have this level here in the market, which could provide some support from the higher time frame point of view, which does play some impact on the market and where it could possibly go. Again, all resistance here, as you can see, acting on resistance there as well, will be turn support here. So again, from an hourly point of view, we do still expect a retest of this area again of previous support time resistance. But again, as long as price holds this area, I probably do expect Gbp Cad to roll over to the downside again, potentially come back to the lows here potentially. Again, that wouldn't be such a bad target to have there for an hourly point of view for Gbp Cad. But if price does get back above this area, it could just be one big false breakout. We could see price continue to the upside and go back to the retest the highs up here and still create those higher highs that I was talking about on the 4-hourly time frame. So we are looking bearish here for Gbp Cad. As long as we hold this level here, I do think the price will roll over to the downside and probably come test this support area. But if we do get back above, potentially could see another swing back to the upside. So again, kind of a key level here in the market from an hourly point of view, depending if we hold or if we get a break, probably determines which way we're going for Gbp Cad. So far, looking like it is retesting, probably seeing the lower time frames looking like we're coming back to retest this. So just see if price holds or not, and whether we can get price to roll back over to the downside. But if we do get price closing back above, could just be a big false breakout and we see a new high there. So need to be aware of that. But as long as price holds, I do think we can roll to the downside on the hourly time frame for Gbp Cad. So I hope that analysis provided some help there. Okay, so it's just gone 12:30, so I'm going to look to wrap up the live stream in a second, but I'm going to do a quick rundown on some of the charts I last spoke at 10 a.m. and see how they've gone, and also my current trade as well. So AUD looks like we found some resistance at the recent highs. You can see Friday chart was still very, very bullish here. As you can see, big push to the upside recently. Obviously, you can see found some resistance here. Last week we got that bearish engulfing just before the week candle closed. And the market shut for the weekend. You can see we've got that engulfing candle. Prices come back and retest the area, and as you can see, we've got a little bit of a bearish reaction there. You can see in the hourly had that bearish candle coming pulling away from that area. So again, you can see there's a reaction from that area. We're back at the highs. For me, there's no real opportunity there yet. There's no real price action there yet either. It's just showing that price is respecting that previous area of resistance, that previous swing high. So if we do get some strong bearish candles coming back from that, could be a sign that we could be on our way back down to go and retest this level here in the market. Previous resistance here didn't really get a retest. Price just kind of broke through that area. As you can see on the daily, a little bit better. All this area is now turned support, so it could be seeing a push downside to go and retest that area there. So again, if we do see some strong rejection from those highs, we could probably expect a push to the downside to go and test that area again. But so far, still need to wait for the candle to close and need to see a little bit more of some rejection. Let me just clear this up. Okay, so for USD, for this one, you can see on the daily time frame, big push to the upside. Previous area of support, we haven't quite gone and test that yet. We did see that engulfing candle closing back below this area of resistance though, but looking like price is currently trading back above. Like I said, it could be a scenario where price is currently trading above the area, but by the end of the day, you see price pull all the way back down and close below this area, showing some rejection. And just may see a false breakout. So that could be true here, but currently so far on the 4-hourly time frame, we're still looking bullish. You can see a very strong 10 a.m. close to the upside. Current candle isn't really doing much, kind of consolidating probably on the low time frame. So not really much to report on for USD since we last spoke at 10 a.m. But so far looking still bullish. You can see in the hourly kind of just moving sideways. Could probably see another push to the upside to go and really test the highs, because as you can see, we've still got a little bit of room to move to the upside before we actually really test the high. So possibly we can see price maybe continue a bit further, see what we can see what we can get at those highs, to see if we can get any rejection maybe. But if we do pull back down on the daily time frame and pull back down below this previous area of resistance again, it could be a sign that we just had a false breakout there and can see move back into this daily support area on the lower time frames. But so far looking bullish, and if price action remains, we'll probably see another push to the upside there. Nzd Cad, you see with this current 4-hourly candle pushing back to the upside here, you can see we did get a close below this level. I did say if we could start to see some strong bullish candles coming back in, it could just be a simple case of price giving us a fake breakout to the downside here. You can see on the daily chart at one point we're trading at these lows here back at 10 a.m. And then I said that it could be a case where we're just going to get a wick to the downside. A lot of people's stop losses would be below this recent low here, so it could have just been taking those stop losses out and then pulling back up. And then we could possibly see a bullish close maybe. Obviously, you have to make that judgment at the end of the day to see how the candle closes. But on the Friday time frame, it is looking like we're getting some bullish strength coming back into the market. You can see the hourly starting to rally to the upside, but again, I have to wait for that 4-hour candle to close. It could just pull the way back down and continue to the downside. That is still possible. Again, we're still in that bearish trend, but just going to see how it reacts with this level here at 2 p.m. see how they close, then probably make a judgment off that. UCJPY, again, you can see we're pushing back to the upside there. We broke through this recent swing low. On the market open. You saw on the 4-hourly chart, price gap to the downside, kind of give one wick to the outside and then broke through. I did say again, some settings Nzd Cad, that if you do get some strong bullish candles coming back in, closing back above that area, it's probably just a fake breakout to the downside. Again, a lot of stop losses would have been under this area, so again, a lot of stop losses could have been triggered there. Now we see a push back to the upside potentially. Again, you can see on the daily chart looking like we might get a wick there. Obviously the 4-hour candle hasn't closed yet, we've still got, you know, most of the data trade, so potentially you can see price pull all the way back down, but again, we'll make those judgments when the 4-hourly candle closes and at the end of the day as well. But looking like prices found some bullish momentum on the hourly time frame there. So looking like potentially could see another push back to the upside, but then again, all this area is now term resistance. So see how the price reacts with that, but possibly could be seeing a false breakout there on USD however, USD still looking a little bit bearish here. You can see we do get that strong bearish candle, and I said potentially if we can get another bullish candle similar to that, saying that we're faking the breakout. As you can see, this was the recent swing low. We saw a breakout to the downside, then I had that big bullish candle coming back above, saying potentially going to have a fake breakout. But there, as you can see, as the price opened, we kind of just gapped down and fell to the downside, breaking through that support as well. So we're still looking bearish here, not really showing any signs of any bullishness really. Again, just kind of moving sideways on the low time frames, back at that low. Still looking bearish. Daily chart again looking bearish. So unless we see some strong bullish price action or momentum coming to the market, potentially could see another push to the downside for this chart. But again, we'll be making those adjustments at 2 p.m. when the candles close at for the 4H time frame. So again, still looking bearish there. And for my current trade, Nzd Cad, you can see we did get a nice push to the downside. Price was working up earlier. As you can see, we did see that bullish candle there push to the upside with the wick of the current candle, but we did see price break to the downside. So far looking alright. We did get a reaction at this previous area of resistance. As you can see on the daily time frame, strong area of resistance. Did see price push all the way to the lows down here from that area. So again, very strong area of daily resistance. Coming back again to test the second time, anticipating a possible double top there maybe, and looking for a swing to the downside, and the momentum is picking up on the 4 hourly time frame to the downside there. So looking like we could get a swing to the downside here. Again, we do have some previous area of resistance turn support. Price might get a bit of might react to a little bit, so could be seeing maybe price pull back up a little bit. But again, if you do break through this area, I do see price coming back to this area at least here, and potentially could see it all the way down to this low here where we had the previous swing to the downside from. So there's a lot of downside potential for Nzd Cad, but again, a couple of levels that price still needs to break through before we can say, yeah, we're really going to the downside yet. So still looking bearish here, going to be holding to this trade probably throughout the day as well, and we'll be talking about it again during my live stream tomorrow. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also leave a like on the video if you found it useful. But like I said, it's the end of the live stream. I hope you all enjoyed it, and until the next one, I will see you later.